broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Take two steps back. We come together because we're AFTERBUZZ of Cooper Barrett's Guide to Surviving Life. I am your host, Tamara Brown, and this is DJ Scat Cat.
Oh, man. Is that the name of the cat in the episode? Or in the, oh, man.
In the video.
In the video. I'm not DJ Scat Cat. I'm at the Jimbo Slice. My name is James Franck. You can follow me on Twitter at the Jimbo Slice.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Brown Tamara. And, a friend of mine went as DJ Scat Cat for Halloween, which is super easy costume, like suspenders and like wife beater and like cat ears, and it was like such a hit.
Oh yeah.
If you're ever looking for like super easy but like super crowd pleaser Halloween costume, DJ Scat Cat from Paula Abdul's video is the way to go.
And you probably get those like obscure people who are like, oh my god, like that is so cool, like I would have never thought of that. Like I went to a costume party this Halloween and it was 90s theme, and a couple came as Where's Waldo, and she was Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego.
Oh, that's so good.
And I was like, that's so genius.
That's so good.
Because like apart, everyone's like, who's this chick in the red coat? And then like together it was like, oh. Brilliant.
So good.
But yes, we opened with the song because Paula Abdul was a guest on this episode.
This show must have, all I thought was like, this must have a crazy budget if they are able to get Paula Abdul. Wait, American Idol is a Fox show though, right?
Yes.
So she might still, maybe it's one of those weird things where like she was still under contract or something like that. She had to like.
Or she owed somebody a nudge favor.
Yeah.
Someone who made hooked up her Coke cup that time.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, I'm working on a show. She's like, yeah, whatever, just put a little more in that Coke cup.
So, regardless, you know why we're talking about Paula Abdul. Made an appearance on the episode today. This is the second episode of Cooper Barrett, and it's called How to Survive Insufficient Funds.
Man.
Yeah, we start out with Cooper having to be bailed out once again by his brother Josh.
Well, we opened with an actual intro video this episode because I guess the last episode was the pilot, so this episode actually had an intro video that told you these are the cast people and these are the characters and this is basically what the show's about.
Yeah, and now that was nice to have. I think because now this show jumps around. There's a timeline that it jumps around.
Yeah, it's weird.
And did it do this last episode? But this episode, it very clearly said 3 weeks earlier, it would label them, and it might have done that in the pilot. It did that
last episode, but it did it way more. It was years. Yeah. It was just this is what happened back then.
I don't know why, but last episode I was a little bit more confused with the timeline. Yeah,
it was, and I brought this up on the last after show. It didn't help that the last episode was pretty Barry, surrounded around Barry, and Barry stayed in the same outfit the entire time. So when they were this is 5 years ago or 10 years ago, but Barry was still in the same outfit though everybody else had changed, it was wait a minute, is it really going back in time? What's going on? So yeah,
good notice.
It wasn't. Yeah, you weren't the only one confused by that.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Yeah, because I thought I didn't know if I was the only one that was slow to pick up on the jumping timeline, whatever the technical term for that is. But yeah, so this one was a lot more clear. Started out with at gunpoint, and then we saw how they got into it. And this episode, but yeah, it's about how trying to make ends meet, pay their rent, stay on top of their finances, and not have to be bailed out by Josh.
Yeah.
And show a little bit more responsibility. I guess with each episode, maybe we're going to see them take a little bit more responsibility. And
you think so?
I would like to see it that way because this is kind of a premise that we've seen a lot of times, like The Hangover. It's been compared to The Hangover a lot of times in some online reviews that I read. AV Club and Entertainment Weekly compared it. They say like it's like The Hangover, bros hanging out, being bros. You know, it's kind of a story that we've seen many, many times. That being said, it is very funny. Like,
it is funny, and it's like all stories have been told. It's just like, how do you put your twist on it and tell it a different way? Like, we might have seen it in The Hangover, and like the first Hangover was great, and everyone's like, oh, if you paid to see Hangover 2, it was just Hangover 1, and if you paid to see Hangover 3, it's just rehashing the same story. Like this, breaking it up, and like it seems like every episode there's going to be like a moral. Like last episode was like everyone has that goofy friend that you just like, it drives you crazy, but like in the end, like you love them, you know? And like this episode, it was like everyone struggles to make money, but at the end of it, like you don't really need to worry about that. Worry about what makes you happy and like the things around you that make you happy, and focus on those things. I
really enjoyed that Barry was not just a straight up screw up. Like they set up, Barry bought this banner. This useless
football-size banner.
This useless banner.
This is why he's not in charge of promotions anymore.
Exactly. He's such a knucklehead, that Barry. And then, you know, it saves the day in the end. And so it's great that there is a payoff. There's not the bumbling character just for the sake of bumbling, you know, because that too, they're always they're in the same like TV tropes of the bumbling one, the nerd,
the one who's like, lead. Oh, I just want to find love. Yeah. And Neil just wants to find love and someone to take home and marry.
Yeah, he said that a couple times. The marry.
So funny.
And so yeah, and I was surprised his the like love interest girlfriend didn't come back this time.
Oh,
even though like
the bodybuilder chick. Yeah, that was funny.
His like, it was kind of like a long duck dong relationship, but she I guess that was a one episode lady.
Who knows?
But yeah, so I did enjoy this episode that we got to see some female characters a little bit more this episode with Kelly, which I didn't realize right away that's Kelly, the neighbor, and Josh's wife.
Josh's wife is hilarious.
Yeah, she's very funny.
Oh man, she's great.
But she is a kickball player. She established like a kickball league that is like well known within the kickball scene.
It was so funny. It was almost like Dodgeball-esque in the movie Dodgeball, where the guy's like, oh, you don't get this magazine? You don't know about this stuff? Like the two girls just like instantly hit it off, like, oh, you beat Saved by the Ball's ass. Like, oh man, the names. Like the names for these kickball leagues. Like, is this a legit thing?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Those are the funny little nuggets in the episodes that make it really good.
I agree for sure.
So that was enjoyable, but yeah, so she's what's Josh's wife's name?
Josh's wife's name. That's fine.
But she befriends Kelly and thinks that she like offended her by calling her a whore.
She tries to do the whole funny like, oh yeah, I'm paying you to hang out. It's kind of like, you know, you're a whore, and then she realizes like it wasn't funny and it's just like, oh my god, did I just make this awkward? Oh my god, I just made this awkward. And like I just really wanted to be friends. So
but it seemed like, because when it first happened, you didn't know how Kelly took it, if she was offended or not, and then it turns out that she wasn't. So it was kind of confusing, because it's like, well then why they kind of set up it was like a contrived confusion.
Yeah, it's like the miscommunication that makes it funny.
Yeah.
Because then what does she do? She sends her man, oh no, go patch this up and go there and tell her I didn't mean that she was a whore. And what does he do? He like accidentally touches her boob.
Which is probably just like a hazard of the trade, I suppose.
Yeah, if you're like, what is she, like a massage therapist of some kind?
What is it called? A chiropractor.
Oh, okay. She's got him on the table and she's stretching his arm out and he stretches a little too far and might grab an appendage.
Yeah, I would think that's probably not the first time that happened on on that table. If that is your profession, you know, sometimes you're relaxed and you're not paying attention. That happens like when you're at the hairdresser and nope, just me? Okay. So
I don't have to go to the hairdresser if you couldn't tell.
Yeah, I'm due for one myself. So yeah, let's see. And we also saw that, what am I missing this episode?
Well, like at this point they get back to like, we're broke and we're going to get evicted and we have no money.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, we've lived here for years. He's not going to kick us out right
Virgil's
away.
not going to kick us out, and then opens the door showing people the apartment. Like, don't worry about the furniture. It'll all be gone.
Yeah.
And as he like stares at them and they're like, oh shit. Oh,
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go get some money somehow.
So once the never-ending quest to find quick cash, they set out to find some quick cash, and they find out that an easy way to do that is for drug testing.
Barry says he saw a super nice homeless guy that gave him a pamphlet for drug testing, got paid $5,000 to take one pill, and he only lost one toe. You know, it reminds me of like The Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
It's just like, I could get you a toe, dude.
Yeah.
I could get you a toe.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
I don't know. At this point in my life, I could lose like a pinky toe for $5,000.
For sure.
You know?
Do you think that's a real thing?
I don't know, man.
I don't think it is, because I feel like a lot of people I know would be doing it. Actually, I do know people that
You mean like drug
testing?
Oh yeah, that's a real thing.
That is a real
sure.
thing, but they don't pay $5,000.
No, I don't know. And you probably have to sign like some crazy contracts.
I think it's like $200 for like it'll be like you have to meet like once a week for 6 weeks.
And it's not like a one and done thing. It's
Yeah.
like, no, we want to see how this affects you over like 6 months.
Yeah.
It's probably not.
I mean,
worth it.
that's fine. It's not. I was just curious if you happen to where's the place where you can get an easy $5,000?
I would say if you're looking for ads and stuff like that, the LA Weekly might have something in the back that you could find.
That would be great. So they do this drug test, and we find out that there are side effects. They are not going to lose a toe, but they are going to itch, and sweat,
and possibly hallucinate.
And
by the time they get up the stairs and out of the door, they're sweating and itching and starting to hallucinate, which brings in Paula Abdul.
They find her in the parking garage, and they're like, here's our chance to get a spokesperson for our hangover cure. And
I just put this together, like getting Paula Abdul to be your spokesperson for a hangover cure. Think about that, because she's such like a lush that people I didn't even realize that until right now.
I caught that immediately.
I did not get that until right now.
Because I was like, wow, I can't believe she agreed to do that.
Yeah, you know, like, oh yeah, let's poke fun at the fact that I love to get drunk all the time.
Yeah.
Like, oh man.
All the more reason that I'm wondering, like, what favor did she owe to somebody that she
was down with
appeared
that.
in this episode? But like, happy to have you, Paula. I would love to see her more on TV, because I loved her on. I didn't watch American Idol that much, but like she was a delight.
Oh yeah.
And she's super.
All her music and everything was awesome.
She's super funny, and she is a triple threat, like they said. And so
I loved how she didn't miss a beat with like the dance steps.
Yeah.
Like oh no, 2 steps forward, 2 steps like bam. I was just like, oh man.
She still got it. Yeah.
Like never lost it.
Yeah, still got it. And but I'm glad, I have to say, that it turned out that it was a hallucination.
Wasn't her, because originally when they
like,
teased it, I was like, how the hell are they gonna fit her into this?
Yeah. Like there's no, like it just, I mean, it's okay. You can suspend your disbelief only so much. So like the fact that it was a hallucination, like, okay, now that made sense. So that was, I really enjoyed that twist.
And he was like a big, fat, greasy dude with like long red hair, and he's like, "Why you keep calling me Paula?"
Which is all the better when they like are looking at the video that they took of him dancing, and you actually see him like, that was great.
Oh, it was great.
People that you wouldn't see dance, when you see them dance, it's always good, always rewarding. So they're, once again, he takes their money that they just got for this thing.
For the drug testing. He robs them.
So now they're right where they started with Needed more moolah. So that's...
Then they decide to break into the bank where he went earlier for a loan. That put down dream. Yeah, your assets are an old ice cream truck and what else? Oh, dream. Put down dream.
Yeah.
You know, like
Did
they
you
hang. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. So when they are breaking into the bank, what did you think was happening?
I was like, what is gonna happen? Like how like are they gonna hack in and just give themselves a loan? Like what is gonna happen?
Yeah. Because it's not like at a bank there's just money and like a vault with like vault written on it, money vault, you know, like I wouldn't know how to rob a bank if I wanted to. So I wasn't sure. I don't know if I thought that I wasn't sure it was the bank actually at first. So I didn't know what the goal was, but I was like, oh, this is going to be terrible. I really get frustrated when shows are just like bad thing after bad thing after bad thing after bad thing. So I thought this episode was going to end on like end in jail or something like that. So very, very pleasantly surprised that it actually turned out that they did something great that worked out for them.
I loved Barry's roll when they're trying to break in the bank and he's just like rolling and then he rolls over the rocks. I was just like, this is awesome. And then he just stays like on his back.
Yeah.
He's like, come on.
Who's your favorite character so far?
Oh man, I don't know. I like them all. I want to see more of Josh's wife because I have a feeling she'll be hilarious. But Barry's had the best lines, I think, so far. Like, his lines are hilarious.
Yeah.
Especially...
He's got some great lines, so I really like him. I agree. I definitely want to see more of Josh's wife. And, another thing that I really liked about that they're exploring the two of them being friends, and that's fine, but, like, this episode, you really kind of liked her. And the last episode, they did that, like, thing where I hate when any movie or TV show
makes the dude that get married.
The
it's
wife,
like, oh, the wife is so terrible. We should have never let him go.
Yeah, they called her a fun sucker.
She's a fun sucker. She sucks fun.
Yeah, like that. Just like as soon as I was like, not again. You know, we don't need
like,
that.
You see like what people are saying as far as like falling back into the hangover. It's the same story done over again.
Definitely has been done again. And you know, like I said, like I don't think it's the shows. Like an AV Club review of this season said something like, for whatever reason, there are network executives right now that still think America wants like bros hanging out. And that's kind of not the direction that like millennials want to see anymore. Like it's not such a common thing that you want to see all the time anymore. Like it's okay, that can still exist, but we don't need this. A couple reviews made it sound like this show was specifically like filling a supposed like audience want for like a bro comedy. And then this was just sort of like, yeah, like nothing too special about it, but it turns out that it is, you know.
See, I think it's more like, I see it for the bro comedy. I see everything you're saying. I just like, I've noticed like the first episode, like it seems like it's wrapping up with morals, and I have a feeling like throughout the season it's going to be like every episode wraps up with a moral and lets you know like more about each person as a friend and why every group of friends has this group of friends, because like you need that like yin to your yang, and you need the dude that's super sensitive because you get crazy pissed off and they're the one that brings you back down, and you need the dude that can make you laugh when you're super pissed off because it brings you back down, and like we all need like friends like in this group. So
the show definitely has potential. I think it's gonna find its. I think it's gonna like find its voice and tone. And
it takes a while for shows to find its groove. I mean, like go back and watch like the first couple episodes of any show.
For sure,
any show, well, and you'll be like, this is kind of rocky.
Back when networks would allow them to like find their tone, you know, now things are canceled before.
Yeah,
they
that's
get
a really good point. So hopefully, like they had strings pulling with Paula Abdul, they got strings to just write out at least like 6 to 8 episodes before people were like, oh no, you know, someone tweeted that this show is dumb, you know, pull it off the air, you know, put on reruns of something else.
All I would say is I'm pretty pretty much enjoying it. I would just like to see, the female characters just get a little bit more, like, explore their character more interesting, just like we did with Josh's wife this episode. That was really fun for her. Because also too in that first episode, I was just like, oh, of course. So the one woman that we see is just the hot girl, the love interest. So, like, you know, give us a little bit more than just the hot girl. So, not that his wife isn't, you know, beautiful too. Of course.
Real quick, jumping back into the breaking and entering, I loved how they're like watching YouTube videos on how to pick locks and break in.
I love that.
I was like, this is crazy. And it reminds me of like when the club for the car was super popular. Whatever company made something to like rival that, in their ads would show you like, all you need is a hacksaw, and they would just like hacksaw a steering wheel and pull the club off, and I'm like, they're just showing people how to steal cars. So seeing Neil be like, no, rewind it, I need to see how I twist this and knock, it worked, like it worked, and I was just like, oh man, like this is a real thing, like those are real videos online that people can easily just be like, oh, this is how I break in.
That was such a good detail.
Yeah.
I loved that they included that. Yeah, that was such a good detail. Yeah, and so in the end, they pull out this giant banner on the bank, and it's during a music festival.
Which, what a better way to promote a hangover drink than on a music festival.
I mean, their product is a good... I would totally use that product if it existed. And it's a, it's a marketable thing. So, like, that was
like, everyone has their chasing the dog remedy that, like, oh yeah, like my grandma says this, or like, oh, my mom swears by that. Like,
I haven't found a good one
really
in all these years.
I work at Starbucks, so like we'll always have people come in and be like, oh, there's a sick tea you make, can I have a sick tea? Or like, they all have different names for it, but it's basically like 2 bags of tea, 3 honeys, and steamed lemonade.
Oh yeah.
But apparently, like, this is the wonder drink that cures everyone's sickness, so people always come in and ask for it, but it's just like, whoever started that rumor and kept it going.
Colds or like hangovers or just across the board?
I don't know. They just like, I like, can I get a sick tea? And I think that's a horrible name for it. Like, so bad.
We're like, sick tea, dude.
Yeah. Oh,
so
man.
it's steamed lemonade?
Steamed lemonade, 3 packets of honey, and then I think like jade citrus tea and 1 other tea.
Interesting. I like what you're saying, James. I think I want to try it. I like what you're throwing out there. Good to know. Yeah, I don't have a hangover remedy, so like
I never drink to get hangover, like to the point where I'm hungover, so I don't really have to deal with that. But water, lots and lots of water.
Yeah, lots of water.
But it's like another big thing in this episode was like between Josh's wife and then Kelly, and like the miscommunication of like, wait, did they want to hook up with us? Like, and then she brings her friend over for like the date to make sure that like, oh, everything's cool. Her friend's name is Briley.
Yeah, or Brenly or something like that.
Brenly. And she's like Josh is like, oh yeah, so we want to tell you guys, and Kelly's like, I don't want to hook up with you, and Brenly's like, but I do. And then it ends with like Brenly in the kitchen like, so Josh, how about that? And he's like, that's not gonna happen, right, honey? Like, he has to okay it with the wife, and the wife is like, no, that's not gonna happen. He's like, yeah, sorry, gotta go.
I enjoyed Brenly's character.
She's funny. Hopefully we see more. No, she wasn't.
Yeah, I hope they bring her back. I really like her.
I hope we see like more of them. Maybe there's like, because like Josh has kids, so maybe there's like a mom takes the kids out and has to deal with stuff episode, and just like, you know, guide to being a single parent at times. Yeah. You know, kind of thing.
Did we miss anything? The drugs and the hallucination, and
I don't
Josh
think so.
Josh didn't do anything much on his own aside from helping his wife solidify this friendship. So, which worked out in the end.
Yeah,
which worked out in the end. She and Kelly are friends, and they are going to play kickball, and it worked out for them.
Yeah, and I'd say like the moral of this episode is like, sometimes you got to embrace being broke, you know, and just like it'll make you realize the things you really want, because you have so much limited funds to spend those funds on. You'll be like, well, You know, do I really want to get a Starbucks coffee or do I want to watch Netflix?
Yeah.
You know, like, so.
Yeah. And you were for a show that takes place in Los Angeles, like it's not super like LA centric in any way. Like this could be anywhere.
Yeah.
So the broke factor, like even though it seems like it's like especially hard in Los Angeles with the cost of
everything's so
expensive.
And everyone's trying to make it, you know.
Exactly.
Everyone's on that hustle. Everyone's got 2 jobs and a hustle, you know, to try and make it.
But it could be, you know, like this could have easily taken place anywhere. So it's like across the board relatable. So
Definitely.
Let's see.
Something that I was talking to my fiance about when I was talking about the show, she's like, so like which guy are you most like? And she was saying that like girls will always compare themselves to who on the Sex and the City they are. Kind of like how you were like, well, which guy are you most like? So I thought that was funny. That's something to think about.
Yeah.
But,
Yep. Girls do that. Or let's see. Well, on this show, who would I be? I meant like who's your favorite character, but like I think I would be the Cooper maybe, just because of he's the like go-getter, like the one that like is like a little bit more organized than the rest. I don't know.
no.
Maybe I'd be the sad crying Neil's boss.
No, hopefully not. But until next week, when we find out more of how to survive life.
Do you have any predictions for next week?
Predictions for next week?
Or for the rest of the season?
Your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
I know that there's supposed to be like a bunch of more guest stars, but I've seen like the ones in the previews where like Paula Abdul was like the one that really stuck out to me. So we just saw her, so maybe she'll come back again somehow. Like someone gets dosed again with drugs, or maybe they actually run into her.
That would be cool.
Or she's like an actual like supporter and like, oh, I love this drink, you know? So
Yeah.
but not really. My prediction is like every episode's gonna end with like, this is the moral of the story and this is why you should have friends and like this is what really matters in life. And the guide to surviving life is like being around people you love and keeping like them close to you.
Totally. I guess I would only guess, my only prediction would be that Josh at some point will need to depend financially on Cooper, even if it's just like at the very last episode, like something
To show him like, I bailed you out all the time and now how does it feel that your baby brother is bailing you out?
The tables have turned, something's happened. So we shall see.
We will.
So yeah, like let us know what your predictions are and comment and like and let us know your thoughts about the show, where you see it heading. So go ahead.
You can follow me on Twitter at TheeJimboslice. That's at the Jimbo Slice. If you hear me over the speaker, it's because I engineer a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz. And follow AfterBuzz on Twitter at AfterBuzz TV. Like, subscribe.
All that jazz.
All that jazz, exactly.
And I'm at Brown Tamara on Twitter, or you can find me on Instagram at Tamara_blue. Thank you so much for watching.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.